Sorry if you hear some noise. It's raining and I haven't, well, let's say, more time to make this tutorial. I will do it. I will do this today. Okay, now let's continue. And let's say that when we send the request to the back end of the API as you want, we want to get this some response. And for get this response, we need to call this main method of actions that are being used for get response. And when we get this response, we save all of the response in this res function. And let's say we have res because the back end sent you some status, and we will check if the status is equal to 200, and 200 is the status of the success. And we have another status for and let's say how the backend send me data. Let me check. Let me make a turn. We have just some status here because we're working on React. It will send you status with data, I think. So let's say it will be resp data, and here because it's on React, we will get response data and status. Okay. And if the status is this one, it means that the user are not found, or the information that are being provided are false. So in this case, let's just say that we have information not recognized in our system. This means that the information that the user provides, such as the email and the password, are not recognized in the system. So it has made some mistake in the email or some mistake in the password. And if the status that we get is equal now to 2n great again, it means that the information are good and we found this user. And let's just write this correct way. And let's say we want the console log, and we console log the data. And here we say that if the information are not recognized, we will display this toast. And let's go to the front end to test. And it says why it says that data is not defined. And here is not data, is response data. Okay, now let's give this false email and this false password that doesn't exist in our backend, and try to log in this fake user. And when you click on log in, we have this toast that appear. It says that information not recognized in our system. And it says again, information not recognized in our system. So for improve this, you can just add some condition on this login button and disable this login button when you make some call to backend. Like this, when we click on login, you disable this login button and wait for the response, but it's not this the objective of the tutorial. So you notice that when the information are wrong, we have this information not recognized toast that appear. It means that this user have made some mistake in the email and the password. So now let's provide some good email and some good password. 1 2 3 4 5 6. The red became cool, good, and let's try to log in now. And here when we click on login, because the user are found, we have this response data that we log here. We get the status and the token, and these two we get them when the information are correct. If we get them here, it means that the information that the user have typed here are correct. Okay, now we need to keep this information, but we don't need this to keep the status, but we need to keep the token, because it's the token that we will use to send all of our query when the user are logged. And how we can keep this token? We can use the navigation memory to keep this token. And In JavaScript, the navigation memory can be accessed by calling the local storage. And here we say local storage, and we say that we want to set an item in the local storage of the compute of a navigator of a browser. I don't know how you can call this on the browser. And here we say set item, and we need to give a name to the item that we want to store. And let's say we can call it token, or you can call it user token. Let's go for user token. And let's say for this user's token, the value that will be equal to this user's token is the token come from the back end. And here is response, because here we display response data. And if you display response data token, let's just test again, and just let's delete all and click on login. Okay, we have this token that appear here, and is this token that we want to send. We need just to make is here to say local storage set item user token will be equal to response data and the token. And by working like this, we will keep this token in the memory. So let's just clear this and try to log in again. And in the console you will show nothing. You will see nothing. But if you go on the network panel, and no, not the network, let's go to application panel, and inside storage local or local storage, you click on localhost 3000. You will see that the user's token will appear with the value. It means that we save this information in the browser, and if you refresh the application, the information keep exists because it has been inserted in the browser. Okay, now we store the token in the browser. So when we store the token in the browser, it means that the user have entered some correct information. So we need to just say to the entire of the application that that's it, this user is connected. How we can make this? Remember, on the app.js folder we provide some auth context, and I've said to you that this context will be used to check if the user are logged or not. With these two variables, logged and user. Log will be used for check if the user are logged, and user will be for the user's information, for the login user information. It's not that they work. We need on our login page, we need to call them. So just let's say we need to call this method that we put here, and this method was login set login user set user. But I don't think, because this will be used for the user's information, and this will be used for check if the user are logged. So on the login screen we will use these two, the login and the set login. So let's import them. Let's say const login, because you need just to make it as constant, and it will equal to use context. And the context that we want to use is the auth context that exists on, let's remember, helper folder auth context, and is this name is not the name that you provide here, is the name that you export here. Okay, so we say that const login is equal to use context from the auth context, but we need just to call the set login method too. Okay, and here when we store the user token in the browser, we need just to update this login value. Remember this login value, and this login value can be updated by calling the set login value that here is React. So we say set login, and the set login value will be equal to true. And for display the login value, we can just go, let's say after email, make some little condition, no, and says that login, if we are logged in, we want to just to display true, and if you are not logged in, we want to display false. and refresh, and you notice that here we are email false because it says that we are not logged. And why it says false? Because when we have stored this local storage in the browser, in the user token in the browser, we haven't called the set login value. So for make this, you need just to clear the token here and just refresh to check, and here provide another the same email, and let's just say that you want to log again and click on login. And now you notice that when we are logging, the login value became true. And if you refresh the application, why? Let's say, and if let's yes, that is because we haven't made some method to check, and the login value are false when we refresh. Okay, don't worry, it's not a big deal. It's just something that I've done. Now when the information that are being provided are correct, we need to redirect the user to his profile page. So how will React Router DOM make the redirect? It's very simple. You need just to create a constant that you will call it the name that you want. In my case, I will call it navigate, and it will be equal to use navigate, and this use navigate come from React Router DOM, so you can import it from React Router DOM. So it's const navigate is equal to use navigate, and here when all are good is here when we store the token in the browser, we have a set login. We need just to call the navigate, and here we need to provide the route name. And remember, the route name are being done on the navigation page, and this is the route name, the path. We need to provide the path. Okay, so let's say when all are good, we want to redirect to profile, to the profile page, and save this one, and nothing will appear. Don't think that is all. Nothing will appear, but on the login part it ends. The next thing to do is to create a method that will be called when the user come on this login page, and this method will check if the user are logged or not, because this logic are being called when the user click on the login button, but we need to have some code that execute when we are on this page. Okay, so let's go to create this method. It's just a constant, and let's say we call it check login. And this check login is very simple to do because we save the token in the local storage. So and when the token are in the local storage, it means that the user are logged. So this check login method will check if in local storage we have some users token that exist. So it's just simple. We'll check if local storage point token it's get item, and the item name is users token. If we get this token, we need to update the set the logged value here that comes from the contest to true, and this will turn this logged value to true. And after this again, you can just make a log to display the result, and you say you are connected. But for display this, we need just to provide some use effect, and let's create a use effect. I will call some React opt again, and use effect, and here we need to provide the function that we want. And okay, we call this function when the user fall on this page or come on this page. So if we refresh on this and we come back here and we refresh, you notice that the log function became true because it makes the check, and in the console we have you are connected. It means that the user are connected, and now we can easily redirect it to the profile page using this navigate. So you can just say, instead of write some console log, you can just call the navigate and say navigate profile, and that's it. You notice that we are automatically redirect on the profile page. And now if we try to go back to the login page again, we can't, because on the login page we have this check login method that check if we have some user token in the local storage, and if we find some user token, we redirect the user on this profile page. And this function are called when one user go to the login page. So let me refresh. What's happened? What's wrong? Just my React application crash, I think. Let me call the server and run it again. Yo, go. Maybe you are tired. It's running again. Okay, that's it. Okay, and you notice that we are come back on the profile page, and if we go to slash just slash, we are redirect to the profile page. Why? Because on just slash we are redirect, we call the login page, and on this login page we have this check login method that are being used to check if the user are logged in, and if the user are logged in, we automatically redirect it to the profile page.